Okay, this is a story that definitely caught my attention for the art. When I saw the article and looked at the art, you know me, I'm an art guy. And Superman, Spider Man is a book I actually didn't know happened years ago when I first looked into this story. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I actually didn't know about this. And obviously, they're redoing this again here. I think the end of this month is when this book is coming out. But the art, it is so magnificent from what I'm seeing thus far. You can fix a lot of things with some insane art. You can have an okay story, just okay. But if your art is just incredible, not only is the script telling the story, but the art is telling the story, helping it along, which makes that script even better. I've seen that happen with several books. There's several books I have that throughout the years I've gone back to and I look at and I'm like, this is a good book. But stripping the art, the story is okay. But when you add the art, oh my goodness, next level. And I think that's what's happening here. So let's get into this story right here from AIPT.com. First look, Coipel, Middleton, Jimenez, and Jim Lee go all out on Superman, Spider-Man #1. DC has, well, let's just stop to take in that panel right there. This panel right here alone, some artists are really good. Some artists are stratosphere next level. And I think Jorge Jimenez is one of those stratosphere artists. Now, if you ask me, if I'm looking at this and if I had to take a guess as to who was the influences of Jorge Jimenez and his art style, I would say Brett Booth and Jim Lee. That's what I'm getting from these panels right here, looking at the art of Jorge Jimenez. But let's get into the story. DC has unveiled new artwork for Superman, Spider-Man #1, including stunning variant covers by Oliver Coipel and Joss Middleton, along with two major interior double page spreads. One comes from Jorge Jimenez and colorist Tomeu Morey, while the other was crafted while the other is crafted by Jim Lee and Scott Williams, offering fans an early glimpse at the scale and spectacle of this historic crossover. The oversized one shot, set to hit comic shops March 25th, 2026, continues DC and Marvel's 50th anniversary celebration of Superman versus Spider-Man, versus the Amazing Spider-Man, excuse me, the first DC Marvel crossover 50 years ago. That is crazy. Now, here's what I want you to look at. Look at this panel right here from Jim Lee and Scott Williams. This did two things for me. It excited me and it made me sad at the same time because X-Men hasn't really delivered what they could be delivering right now. Again, I don't do complaining on this channel, but I'm not naive as to what's going on. So every now and again, I'll let it be known. X-Men is not really doing the best. I was looking back through John Byrne's X-Men Elsewhere, which is fan fiction he released on his own, 33 issues, I believe. If you don't have that, I have videos on that on my channel with where you can go to get that. I downloaded all of them, have them converted into a CBZ file so I can read them in order. And man, his art is so good. Now, Marvel's supposed to be publishing that. And I actually saw, I can't remember what I was reading, what article I was on, or what site I was on, where they had some of the panels from that work colored, because his X-Men Elsewhere is just all his pencil work. And oh, it is so good. The one thing that I wish, so this is my desire, and I don't know if they're going to do this. John Byrne needs somebody like Scott Williams to do his inking. Jim Lee, throughout his career, has always been paired with Scott Williams. I'm sure Jim Lee has worked with other inkers, but I think he has worked the most with Scott Williams. Scott Williams knows how to ink a panel and not hide the lines. Too many inkers go overboard with the ink and they really hide all of the artist's pencil work. And the pencil work is where you get all that detail. If you go too heavy on the ink, it's almost like taking a 4K image and blurring that image to the point where it looks like 720p. To me, that's what it feels like when inkers go overboard with the ink. And what I saw from that John Byrne colored the panel from his X-Men Elseman that was colored, the inks were too heavy and it just hid his line work, which was a travesty. But just Jim Lee and Scott Williams has got to be one of the best dynamic duos when it comes to pencils and inks. Scott Williams is a mastermind. He knows exactly what to do with Jim Lee's panels. And Jim Lee, some people may disagree with this. I think Jim Lee, out of all comic book artists, he is the best at dynamism. His art has the best flowing action sequences, like a single panel like this, and you feel all the action emanating off of the panel. Dude is a mastermind when it comes to doing this stuff. I like this simplified cover as well. All of these covers actually, like, this got me pretty excited about what's to come with this Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man. The issue features 8 brand new crossover stories from an all-star creative lineup. The lead story, written by Mark Waid, art by Jorge Jiménez, as Clark Kent and Peter Parker investigate a shared mystery connected to Brainiac and Doctor Octopus. Their pursuit quickly escalates into a full-scale superhero clash once Superman and Spider-Man take center stage. Additional stories include Tom King, Jim Lee focusing on Lois Lane and Mary Jane Watson, Matt Fraction and Steve Lieber revisiting Jimmy Olsen with a Carnage twist. I like that. Sean Murphy pairing Superboy from the Legion era with Spider-Man 2099, Gail Simone and Belen Ortega uniting Power Girl and the Punisher, Christopher Priest and Daniel Sampry bringing together Superboy Prime and Black Suit era Spider-Man, Greg Rucka and Nicholas Scott staging a rivalry between the Daily Planet and the Daily Bugle. I actually like that. I think that's pretty funny. Jeff Lemire and Rafa Sandoval delivering a heartfelt flashback centered on Pa Kent and Uncle Ben. I like that one too. This is probably going to be really good. The standard edition will retail for $7.99 with card stock variants priced at $8.99. In addition to Jimenez's main cover, the issue will feature open-to-order variant covers from a wide range of superstar artists, with Jimenez cover also available as a foil edition. With new covers and interior art reveal, anticipation continues to build for one of 2026's biggest crossover events. It hurts me. I know y'all have heard me say this several times. It really hurts my heart that DC is killing Marvel right now on talent. They are crushing Marvel. I got to admit it. I'm a Marvel guy, but they're getting crushed. I wish Marvel would put some of their better artists or best artists on and writers on X-Men, but not events. I'm not going to rehash all of that again. But this Superman versus Amazing Spider-Man is a book I did not know I needed, but I am actually super excited to see play out. And initially when I'd seen this, I didn't realize it happened. Obviously this, happened initially before I was born, but I was like, oh, this happened. I didn't know anything about this. And then I looked into it and I was like, oh, snap. Okay. I completely missed this one. So I am looking forward to this. This looks like it's actually going to be pretty great.